Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fabulence Lance Adams coming to you live from the Kumeu Community Centre. This is the Hughes Academy of Professional Wrestling, live! Coming out first to the ring, here is a man who Hughes Academy fans should be very, very familiar with. He is the Spartan, former Hughes Academy men's champion. In fact, the last Hughes Academy men's champion. Recently gave up his championship to form the brand new Hughes Academy Championship, which was was contested for the very first time, the last time we were in action. Unfortunately, Spartan wasn't successful in his endeavour to capture the Hughes Academy Championship, but he'll be looking to restart his career, get things back on track with a big win tonight. And boy, does he have a hell of an opponent to do that with tonight. Exceedingly popular. I mean, you can hear the crowd. Exceedingly popular, the Spartan. Exceedingly talented. The man can hit. The man can move. He is athletic as hell. He looks great. He's got championship written all over him. Unfortunately, doesn't have the belt tonight. Look at that, that's nice. Throwing a bit of chocolate to the crowd. Who doesn't love chocolate? Spartan eagerly awaiting his opponent. Here comes his opponent. Someone relatively new to the New Zealand scene. Tommy Fusion, the Schwinger. Calls himself the head of the Schwinger Club. And I mean, you can hear the crowd reaction for that. Tommy might be a little bit more popular than Spartan with the crowd out west here in Kumeu tonight. He's given up a little bit of size to Spartan. Spartan's the bigger man, but if you've never seen Fusion move, don't blink because you'll miss him. The man is fast as hell. Only been in the ring, only debuted maybe about 12 months ago. Relative newcomer to the New Zealand scene, but since he's introduced, has been winning matches up and down the country for companies all over the place. And the crowd are loving Fusion, but a little bit of a favour there with Spartan. The Spartan crowd, Spartan chants. And Tommy Fusion, always a fan, holding the sign upside down like an idiot. There he goes, gets the sign right. You gotta love Fusion. The crowd love him. We love him. Hopefully Spartan loves him. Hopefully Spartan loves him tonight. Spartan jaw-jacking with the crowd there. He's in a serious mood tonight. He's coming off a devastating loss with his last outing against Frankie Quinn for the Hughes Academy Championship. He will be looking forward to getting himself back on track with a big win over Fusion tonight. And we are officially underway. Looks like the crowd is firmly on the side of Tommy Fusion tonight, but Fusion can't let that excitement from the crowd chants get to him. Spartan is not a man to be taken lightly, and a fast lockup by the two men. Aggressive, jockeying for position, but surprisingly Fusion getting the benefit there with a quick wrist lock. As I said, relative newcomer to the New Zealand scene. but not someone you can take lightly, and someone that a lot of opponents have taken lightly, much to their detriment. But Spartan, ever the veteran, straight out of the move. Spartan has done tours of the UK and is actually looking at going over there fairly soon for some experience. Fusion not letting the hold get to him, rolling out of the... showing the impressive athleticism there by Tommy Fusion, straight back into the wrist lock. And I mean, I'm not sure this is the tactics that Fusion wants to go with. Fusion's known for his speed, he's known for his DDT that he does, the swinger. Grinding Spartan down with submission holds isn't normally his style, and is maybe something that Spartan needs to be doing. But the power of Spartan there, taking Fusion over with the arm lock. Oh, with the speed there of Fusion, straight for the counter. But the wily veteran there, Spartan, stays right on top of Fusion. He's working up that headlock there. Crowd's firmly behind him. Fusion needs to feed off that energy to stay on top of Spartan. And we've already seen the speed of Fusion there, getting out of some of those holds. He just needs to keep on with that speed, keep on top of Spartan. Spartan is not a man to be taken lightly. Aggressive, strong, fast. And they're using his experience to grind Fusion right into the mat. And this is the tactics that I think a guy like Spartan needs to use. Grind Fusion into the mat, keep him off his feet, neutralize that speed base. Our fan favorite there with Lawrence in the crowd. Apparently he's a bit popular there with Fusion. Spartan trying to work his way out of that hold. Trying to get the crowd on his side. He might struggle with that, but they're a little bit more in Fusion's corner tonight. And Spartan, the athleticism straight up, but Fusion taking him straight down again. That was a bit of an unusual mistake there from a guy like Spartan, turning his back on Fusion and allowing Fusion to get to his feet and take him back over. Are we seeing Spartan maybe psychologically still be affected by that loss with the Hughes Academy Championship quite recently? Maybe taking Fusion a little bit lighter. Maybe that loss is weighing heavily on him right now. He seems to be a step off. Normally I would have expected a guy like Spartan faster, well, not necessarily faster, but definitely stronger and faster in his own right to really try and grind Fusion into the mat. Oh, and there he is, straight with the leg drop. The speed of Fusion, going for the kick. Countering each other's moves left and right, and Fusion straight into a pinning combination. And this is the sort of thing Fusion needs to be doing. Fast wins, try and get Spartan, take Spartan by surprise and kick out from a surprise schoolboy there. And maybe both of these guys are taking each other a little bit too lightly here. A little bit of a square off, trying to get stock of each other. Spartan, the bigger man, with a ruthless shoulder block. He's feeling it now. And there we see the impressive athleticism of Tommy Fusion. But no, Spartan's a little bit too strong. He saw that hip toss coming straight into the pinfall. But no, Tommy Fusion is out. Looking to take him to the ropes himself. Oh, surprisingly, Fusion taking Spartan down there with a shoulder block. And Spartan showing he is just as athletic as Tommy Fusion. But Tommy Fusion can see a hip toss coming just like him. These guys have picked up the pace in a big way. And you heard before I said these guys are fast. I mean, you're seeing it right now. But Fusion on top. Oh, with a massive suplex. Staying on top, right into the pin. But ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you from experience, you're going to need a lot more than one suplex to take a guy like Spartan down. I've faced him myself. He is a tough competitor. And Spartan Seeing that scoop slam coming a mile away. Oh, an elevator reverse DDT. Somewhat of an unusual move there. I haven't seen that from the Spartan. Tommy Fusion, I think, taken by surprise there. Spartan thinking maybe he can get the win. Tommy Fusion, he has barely moved after that DDT. He has got to be stumped. The back of your head slams into the mat like that. You are seeing stars for the next couple of weeks, and Spartan is feeling it. Maybe setting up for the spear here. There's devastating spear that has won him championship after championship, but Fusion's... Oh, we saw that coming straight into the ring post. Fusion looking to take control there. Forearm strikes. Maybe got to be careful. They get Spartan out of the corner. But Spartan got himself out of the corner. Big running drop kick. And Fusion really has struggled to get going here after that initial flurry. Spartan has seen everything coming that Fusion's dished out and has had an answer for it. Again, that planting him on the back of the head earlier, that massive drop kick cutting off his momentum straight away. As I said, Spartan is strong. He is a veteran, and that slow lift on that suplex there, almost a deadlift, really showing off his power. The Fusion, he is triple tough. You are going to have to put a lot more into effort into putting a man like him down. Fusion whipped straight into the corner. Massive splash from the Spartan. A guy the size of him, his strength, his power, his experience, he just needs to stay on top of Fusion. Throw him around the ring. Use your strength. Use your speed and stay on top of a guy like Fusion. Don't let him get going. And Spartan again, sort of looking to the crowd there a little bit slower than he should be. And Tommy Fusion, a little bit of time to recover there. Saw it coming, but no, Spartan still in the game. Calling his shot there a little bit with a victory roll straight over. But Tommy Fusion straight out of that pin. Tommy Fusion, he is getting to his feet, but I tell you what, the lights are on, but no one's home. Spartan is... Oh, I was going to say Spartan's dominating him, but that Fusion with a surprising drop in Spartan on the back of his head himself. A little bit of comeuppance there for Spartan. And you can see Spartan there clutching the back of his head, slamming straight into the mat there. Again, you are seeing stars. The crowd firmly behind Tommy Fusion. And really, the effect of the beating. Oh, and what a driver there by Spartan. That's got to be it for a guy like Fusion. Oh, but kicking out barely on the cusp of 3 there. I'm going to say, every time Tommy tries to get on top of Spartan, every time he tries to use his speed, his quickness, his momentum, Spartan has shut him down every single time. And Spartan a lot quicker to his feet there than Fusion was. But he has got to be feeling the back of his head. Oh, that was a vicious back elbow. That it connected, but Fusion connects with his own. A flying back elbow. And an amazing jumping hurricanrana. Spartan is off his feet. Fusion needs to stay in control. Another massive back elbow. He is feeling it tonight and off the ropes. But Spartan's still in control. Maybe going for a spear. No. Dragon suplex right on the back of Spartan's head. That's got to be it. I mean, hitting the head once, hitting the head twice, but no, Spartan still in it. And the disappointment is written all over Tommy Fusion's face. After that flurry, he thought that was it. And after the beating he has taken, maybe that is it for Tommy Fusion. I don't know if he can stay in control much longer. The exhaustion's got to be feeling, the beating he's got to be feeling right now, but he's calling for the swinger. The crowd still chanting for Tommy Fusion, giving him some energy. Oh, but a ruthless enziguri there by the Spartan. Straight to the head of Tommy Fusion. And Spartan there has targeted that head. Targeted the head of Tommy Fusion with a vicious lariat. If he wasn't out of it already, he is out of it now. Oh, but Tommy Fusion, as I said, tough as hell. He has got to be acting on instinct at this point. Spartan has dropped him on his head. He has kicked him in his head. He has hit him in the head repeatedly. Tommy struggling to get to his feet, and Spartan, he is smelling blood in the water here. He is going for the spear. He's got to be calling for a spear. Straight in there. Tommy Fusion again sees it coming. Straight over with a pinfall. Oh, an amazing pinfall! An amazing pinfall. God's got to be an upset there from Tommy Fusion. The disappointment there on the face of Spartan. I don't think Tommy Fusion actually can see. He doesn't even believe he's won. I don't believe he's won. Spartan has got to be furious. A loss against Frankie Quinn for the Hughes Academy Championship last month, and now an out of nowhere loss from a guy like Tommy Fusion, who is only a year into his career. Spartan has got to be fuming. I would not want to be backstage when he gets back there. Tommy, though, he's feeling it. A win over a guy like Spartan has got to do wonders for a career. A career like his, a career on the rise around this country. Not many people can say they have beaten Spartan, and Tommy Fusion can add himself to that list. And after the beating that he took, he is still standing. Tommy Fusion has earned that win. What an impressive outing by that young man. Oh, and here's for the next match, an absolutely despicable human being, the scene AJ Murtagh. We have seen him around the country. He has been popping up at shows like Maniacs United, Hughes Academy and Reaper Pro. Does whatever he wants, goes wherever he wants. And I mean, look at the disdain on JJ's face. Grabbing the microphone. AJ, we don't want to hear from you. But clearly he wants to tell the crowd something, even if the crowd isn't going to want to listen. You can hear it from the crowd there. They do not want to hear from AJ Murtagh. And apparently the music guy doesn't either.
I just want to say, it's really great to be here and keep you with such a passionate audience.
Oh, don't cheer him. Don't let him suck you in. Oh, and here's his opponent. A man that he screwed out of a win quite recently with a disgusting display of cheating. AJ Murtagh beat this man quite recently, but Jackson Graves, he is here for vengeance. And AJ has insisted that, yeah, he admits he beat Jackson Graves by cheating quite recently, but he claims he can beat Graves tonight without breaking the rules, and we will see if he can accomplish that, because every time we've seen Murtagh in the ring quite recently, he has been cheating. Jackson Graves, again, a relative newcomer to the New Zealand scene, extremely athletic, has a vicious set of knees on him. A man who has gone through a lot in his life. He has cheated death and has cheated death and is certainly going to look to stand up a guy like AJ Murtagh. And Jackson's felt Murtagh's sting quite recently. Thank you. Jackson's felt the sting of Murtagh's behaviour quite recently with that loss. He is going to be taking a guy like AJ quite seriously, and I'm not sure if we can say the same about AJ taking Jackson Graves seriously. But come on, you can't trust a guy like AJ. There we go. Good on Jackson Graves. Straight away into a schoolboy pin. A little bit of a message there to AJ. I am not going to fall for your antics tonight from Jackson Graves. And he is staying on top of AJ there. Boot to the gut, some educated kicking, and straight there with a super kick. Hey, this is quite surprising. AJ, quite a big guy, bigger than Graves, staggered off his feet there with those kicks and that knee. But AJ using his power. Oh, adjustment there of a bit of a spine buster. And just grind it. But Graves straight on top with those fists. AJ using the power. Maybe trying to lock in a Kumeu there, but Graves not letting him get that locked in. I think Graves is sending a message to AJ there. You want to fight dirty? I will meet you on the ground and fight you dirty, just as dirty as you want to fight. Graves, a guy quite familiar with fighting for survival, and he is going to have to... Oh, the power of AJ there, just throwing Graves to the mat. Graves maybe a touch out of sorts at the moment from some of those punches. Almost a little bit slow on that kick straight at AJ's head, but AJ took advantage. AJ maybe relatively newcomer to the scene of wrestling, but has been in the ring as a referee and announcer and has been around the wrestling scene, as he calls it, for quite some time now. So while we haven't seen AJ fight all that much, he has certainly seen everybody else fight. He has learned from osmosis. He has learned from seeing, and he is taking that experience now and applying it to a guy like Jackson Graves. And this disgusting display, choking him on the ropes. Come on, ref, getting him off. Get him off the ropes to the 4 count. Straight to the 5 count. That's a disqualification. AJ, he knows better. He used to be a referee. And AJ jaw-jacking with the crowd. As I said, not taking a guy like Graves seriously, and he really needs to, because Graves will fight you. And there, the heart of Graves fighting back against about the scene, but AJ saw that kick coming. Oh, and a devastating spine buster. That's got to be it for Jackson Graves. I don't know. That's got a Winderman. Oh, a very weak kick out there by Graves. Possibly winded after that spine buster. Brutal slam. And AJ in firm control after that move. Oh, and a disgusting display again by AJ. Dragging his eye across the ring. I mean, I'm fairly sure AJ said that he wasn't going to cheat in this match, but fairly sure he might not consider this cheating, but he is bending those rules to the breaking point right now. And Graves got to be rough seeing out of that right eye after dragging it across the ring. The ring ropes are now slamming into the corner. He has got to be seeing stars if he sees anything at all. And just dumped outside the ring like a sack of potatoes. Murtagh in firm control after that. And look, trying to do his own count, maybe counter Jackson Graves out of the ring. I think most wrestlers don't like taking a count-out victory, but a guy like AJ, he's not going to care. A win's a win for him. But straight away, a vicious stomp to the back of Graves' head. I think AJ's seen there, but he's going to have to do a little bit more work to put down a guy with the heart of Jackson Graves. And AJ showing his dominance, just talking rubbish to the crowd, slamming Graves headfirst into the corner of the ring. And AJ just taunting not only Graves, but taunting the crowd. The arrogance on display of this man, and maybe some of the experience that he's gotten from watching wrestlers staying on top of Graves. Oh, the vicious slam to the outside of the ring. There is nothing but concrete on this floor. That was a nasty landing from Graves, and if AJ wants that count-out win, I think he might just get it. If Graves wasn't winded after that spine buster earlier, he sure as hell is right now. And our referee Matt with the count out. for the count out of 4, but Graves is struggling to get to his feet. Halfway through the count now, if he can't get into the ring. Allen barely getting into the ring, but Graves can't even get to his feet. Graves is fighting for survival at this point. AJ is firmly in control. But for a guy like AJ, he's in control, still talking to the crowd, still taunting everybody. He just needs to put Graves away. And maybe AJ is one big move off doing that. Normally we'd see Graves fight back at a time like this, but he is dizzy. Maybe that punch there woke him up a little bit. Graves trying to bring his feet to the game, but no, AJ locked in straight in there for a submission hold, a chokehold. But Graves still in it, going straight for a pinfall. A close pinfall there by Graves, a close 2 count. AJ's cockiness there almost cost him the match. And AJ, you can see on his face there the surprise that Graves almost got one up on him. And look at him, doesn't shut his mouth, punches him in the back of the head and just continues to taunt him, but Graves isn't having any of it. AJ showing here that he is taking Graves far too lightly. Graves fighting back with a nasty little chop and going for it again. He's calling his shot. Oh, and a vicious chop. If AJ, the look on AJ's face, even with a shirt on, he is feeling that, and you can imagine how red his chest is right now. Oh, and a thumb to the eye by AJ. Come on. I thought you said you could win this without cheating. And we have seen nothing but cheating from AJ. Going for a little chop of his own there. To the exposed flesh of Jackson Graves' chest. Graves absolutely struggling to get to his feet right now. And AJ calling his shot with the spike. But the neck breaker from Jackson Graves. He is still in this fight. A football kick. And a beautiful standing moonsault. Don't know if he got all of that. But Jackson Graves going for number 2. Got it all. And a very close 2. Maybe Graves a little bit too slow getting to that pinfall. But calling his shot now, calling for that vicious knee in the corner. And there Graves, that's driving his knee straight into the turnbuckle. The inexperience there. And we've seen there the cutscene from AJ, as he calls it. His diamond cutter. His version of the diamond cutter. But Graves kicking out at the last second. We've not seen anyone kick out of that move. Dacene has used that to win matches for himself and other people numerous times. Graves has got to be running on instincts at this point. And the fury of AJ, ground and pounding on Jackson Graves. He might have kicked out of the scene the first time, the cut scene the first time, but AJ is gonna make him pay. If he did not take Jackson Graves seriously before, he is having to right now. And the fury on AJ's face as he's throwing Jackson Graves across the ring, bringing his power to bear over the relative newcomer. And AJ, again, his cockiness may be getting the best of him. He has got to stay on top of a guy like Graves. I don't know what he's doing on the outside of the ring. Oh, come on, AJ. A fire extinguisher. I thought we said we could win this match without cheating, and he has gone and got a fire extinguisher. AJ, you're a scumbag. You couldn't beat Graves the first time, and what are you doing this time? Bringing out a weapon after grinding his face on the ropes, after thumbing him in the eye, after using but the referee Matt having absolutely none of it. Taking the fire extinguisher off him. AJ, you can argue all you want, but a vicious kick there from Graves. Again, the arrogance of AJ. Let Graves get the recovery. Graves calling his shot now. Calling ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. And a 3 count. Jackson Graves gets the win over AJ.
Here's your winner, Jackson Graves!
And maybe AJ now will learn. Don't take a guy like Jackson Graves for granted. Take your opponents seriously, AJ. Jackson Graves took one hell of a beating tonight. One hell of a beating, and he is standing, scraping through a win. After taking that vicious spinebuster, after taking that slam to the outside, he is still standing, and AJ, even after kicking out of the cutscene, AJ barely getting to his feet there. I don't think he's, look at that, calling his 2 count. AJ, I don't think he knows he's just lost a match. And even when he tried cheating, he couldn't get the win. Jackson Graves celebrating his win up the apron, and a well-deserved win at that. AJ is not happy. He is not happy. Still says he's the best. Well, apparently not. Graves was the best tonight. As our announcer Dan there said, a Hughes Academy debut. This is a close personal friend of mine from my Fashion and Passion days, the manager of champions. This is Miss Rivers, one of the most prolific managers in New Zealand. She has managed champions in companies up and down this country. She's managed myself when I was a part of Fashion and Passion with Tyler Chase. Her debut at Hughes Academy. An excellent strategist, an excellent tactician. Obviously, if she's here, she must have a new client. And I am very interested to hear who that client is and what she has to say. Who Miss Rivers manages tends to come out on top. So whoever she has chosen her next client, there. And they make really good coffee. What are we saying there? Is Miss Rivers forming a little group? Flavour! Bobby Wisheart, Jack Franko have thrown together tag team at WrestleFest, but they have quickly become one of the hottest tag team acts in this country. And with Miss Rivers at their back now, Miss Rivers has managed tag teams to tag team gold. The Flavour is only going to get stronger with her in their corner. Bobby Wisheart debuted with Hughes Academy quite recently, early last year, I believe. Jack Franko up from Wellington. These guys have tagged together, as I said, at WrestleFest they have tag team up and down the country with wins over guys like the Gun Cabinet and the Young Nats. Relative newcomers to the tag team scene, but Miss Rivers has clearly seen something in them, and I tell you what, if you have not seen these two wrestle, you will see something in them tonight. But this wasn't just a tag team match, this was a 6-man tag team match, and their mystery opponent is Dev Kyro! My God, we haven't seen this guy at Hughes Academy in about a year now. About a year we have seen this man. What a re-debut for Dev Kyro. He is one of the youngest wrestlers in this country, exceedingly talented. Fast, athletic, has a vicious kicks on him. And tag teaming with the Flavour there, an established team, this will be a force to be reckoned with. I tell you what, Miss Rivers, the manager of champions, when she picks her clients, she picks exceptionally well. But even a team as exciting and as talented as the Flavour, with a guy as the speed of Dev Kyro, they are going to have their fight cut out for them with a man like this in the ring. Ginger Nut, someone who I'm not familiar with personally. Elliot Hunter, a man who is British trained. He has come to get New Zealand competition. He has specifically come here for competition, and he's going to get it. And managing this team, the 6th man, the owner of Hughes Academy, Graham Hughes himself. Graham Hughes, also English, from Portsmouth, England. Actually the same place I come from. Graham Hughes, exceptionally talented, a mat technician. And yep, Ginger Nut may be relatively inexperienced in the New Zealand scene, but Elliot Hunter, a guy British trained, and Graham Hughes, a British trainer himself. The Flavour and Dev Kyro have their work cut out for them. These are some exceptionally talented mat technicians. They will take you to the mat, they will wrestle you down, and they will grind your limbs till you tap. Graham Hughes starting the match off for the team there. A little bit surprising there. The veterans starting off the match. But yes, Graham wants to send a message. Graham wants to send a message there. Bobby, if you want to take on my 6-man team, you're coming after the team captain first. And Graham, the experience, straight away the mind games, straight away trying to get the ref's attention. If you've never seen Graham Hughes wrestle, a brilliant tactician, not only excellent in the mat, excellent with grinding you down to the mat, he will outthink you and he will out-wrestle you. Bobby Wisheart here, he has got his work cut out for him, and straight away, Graham showing what's brought into the dance there, in firm control of the wrist. Bobby trying to use her athleticism to try and get out of the hold, but Graham, he knows his way out of a lot of holds, this man does. Straight away using his power and experience. And look at that. Taunting Wisheart. I will take you down with one hand. And you might think a guy, and straight away the tactics. Grinding on the elbow. Graham Hughes. Oh, and straight to work on that arm. Graham Hughes picks a limb and he rips it to shreds with his experience. Bobby trying to fight his way out there with a hammerlock. But if you're going to try and out-wrestle Graham, this might not be the smartest thing for Bobby to do. Graham will out-wrestle you with his eyes closed. And straight back into that wrist lock. Straight away working that elbow. Straight away working that arm. And a wrist lock might seem like a reasonably rudimentary move, but with a guy like Graham and his experience, he knows every little bone in your wrist and your hand, and he knows how to inflict that punishment. Ben would be clever to get himself out of the ring, and straight away there with Jack Franko. Maybe going to work there on Graham's arm a little bit themselves there with that hammer. Graham sizing up his opponent straight away, straight back into control. And now with a top wrist lock, really driving Jack Franko down to the ring, right into the mat. Using his size and his power, just standing over him. And he's not just bending the wrist, but he's using his own size and his power and just pushing that into the mat. And there, Graham. He is allowing Jack to get to his feet to get a tag in against Ginger Nut. And a vicious kick right to the ribs. And Ginger picking up the work that Graham has laid out for him, straight back to the arm. But Jack right back into control. Oh, and a vicious strike there. Vicious strike there from Ginger. Going straight for the ankle. A little bit of a different tactic there. Maybe we would have expected him to target the arm the same as Graham, but Ginger is going for his own little strategy. Oh, and he's wrenching on that knee. Wrenching on Jack Franko's left knee. He has got to be in agony. And look at what Ginger's doing there. What he was doing was standing on Jack Franko's ankle there, preventing him from sort of rolling out of the hold and getting leverage himself. And Ginger there, again, grinding Franko back into the ring, trying to take him off his feet. Oh, but Jack with a bit of a modified monkey flip there. Taking Ginger down himself. But Ginger Nut right back into control. He can talk trash, but he can take you down like the best with him, Ginger Nut. And Jack Franko there, trading holds. But Ginger with a vicious throat chop. Back in firm control of Jack. And a move like that, so sudden, so quick, it is so hard to guard against. And straight away, you are gasping for air. And now we are seeing Elliot Hunter, the vicious Brit there with that right hand, right into the ribs of Jack Franko. And the tactics here of these boys. Graham grinding on the arm. Ginger grinding on the leg. And now Elliot beating the hell out of him. Beating the hell out of Franko. And what's Graham here doing? Distracting the referee. And some gang warfare tactics by Ginger Nut. A kick to the back of the head. And Elliot Hunter there driving Jack Franko right into the corner. And as I said, Graham Hughes, an absolute Mac tactician. He is an expert of getting the referee exactly where you want him. And Elliot, the referee, did not see a lick of that. But I tell you what, Jack Franko's feeling it, trying to fight back, but one vicious strike there by Elliot. He is back down. And the vicious Ginger Nut with a right hand of his own. Jack has got to be feeling his knees. He has got to be feeling his arm. He has got to be feeling his ribs after this beating. And now he can barely breathe. Again, that throat that Ginger Nut chopped earlier in the match. And look at that. Disgusting behavior there by Elliot Hunter. A swift kick to the back of the head while the referee's back's turned. These men are wrestling circles around James Franko right now. And they are positioning the referee exactly where they need to be. They are expert technicians. But Jack Franko, a lot of heart in him, a lot of tag team experience, trying desperately to get to the tag, but Ginger shutting him down. Ginger there, massive European uppercut. European uppercut. A vicious Irish whip there for James Franko, straight into the corner, and Elliot Hunter, the striker from Britain, he is back in the ring, and Graham again distracting the referee. Come on, where do we get these referees from? And a double suplex from Ginger Nut and Elliot Hunter. And Jack Franko, those kickouts are getting weaker and weaker and weaker the longer this match goes on. After these three vicious strikers and grapplers are grinding Jack into the mat, and Jack managing to make it into friendly corner. Here's Bobby Wisheart. A little bit of tag team work here by the Flavour. Double drop kick. And Elliot Hunter again, very experienced overseas, relative newcomer to the New Zealand scene. Relative newcomer to tagging with Ginger Nut and Graham. Maybe the experience here of the Flavour trying to get control, but no. A vicious DDT from Elliot. The experience of Elliot Hunter there. Straight back into control. Oh, and Elliot knocking Dev Kyro off the mat, off the ring. He hasn't even gotten into the ring yet. And a vicious right hand to the ring. That right hand from Elliot is lethal. And Ginger Nut taking advantage of these rib shots that Elliot has been dishing out. I tell you what, if you've never been popped in the ribs quite like that, oh, a drop kick to the back of the head. If you've never been popped in the ribs quite like that, it is hard to breathe. Oh, the absolute disgusting gang warfare by these two. The referee's distracted and just laying the boots into Bobby Wisheart. Oh, and again, using the referee to their advantage. As soon as Jack Franko tries to get back in the ring, nope, use the referee to get him out. Ginger Nut grinding Bobby Wisheart down to the mat. Those rib shots, it's got to be hard to breathe. It's got to be hard to take, get your breath back with that sort of pain. And now you've got a guy like Ginger Nut squeezing on your throat. Bobby, though, fighting back with shots to the ribs of his own, but Ginger firm back in control, maybe going for a fall-away slam here. Showing off his power, picking up a guy like Bobby Wisheart. Oh, the power of Ginger Nut, launching him to his shoulders, and what are we going to see here? No, Bobby saw it coming, straight away with a massive drop kick. And Dev Kyro, for the first time in about a year, seeing him back in the Hughes Academy ring, taking down Elliot Hunter, two big clotheslines. And straight away with a big stunner. Maybe took Elliot by surprise there with a little bit of momentum. Bit of a 2 count, but Elliot has got to be stunned after that little flurry there by Dev Kyro. And for the first time in about a year, we are seeing in a Hughes Academy ring, Dev Kyro is putting those feet to work. He is putting that speed to work. And straight away, is he going for the stunner again? Going for the stunner a second time. And Elliot, he looks like he is on Dream Street right now. But Ginger breaking up the pinfall, and probably wise to do that. I don't know if Elliot could have kicked out of that. But referee, get him out of the ring. Get him out of the ring. Get Ginger out of the ring, referee. Elliot's the legal man. But Dev Kyro feeling the effects of that beating there by Ginger Nut. Elliot staggering to his own corner. Bobby Wisheart back in the ring, but Elliot maybe unwisely not tagging out. Maybe showing some tag team inexperience there from Elliot. Or maybe he was just suckering Wisheart in there with a massive spine buster. But Bobby kicking out on his own. Kicking out maybe just on heart alone after that massive spine buster. But again, Graham taking control of the referee, allowing Elliot to get his breath back. Bobby whipping Elliot straight into that corner, trying to use his speed and staying on top of the much larger and much more experienced Elliot Hunter. Some vicious forearm strikes, a running clothesline, and going for a tilter, a jumping modified tilt-a-whirl DDT there. Tornado DDT, I should call it. But again, maybe Bobby there feeling the effects of that beating, trying to do a pinfall in the enemy territory corner. Maybe it wasn't the smartest thing for him to be doing. Maybe showing the inexperience there from Bobby Wisheart. Again, as I said, relative newcomer to the New Zealand wrestling. But Graham, oh, and a vicious suplex. Vicious suplex to Bobby. Jack taking advantage of the confusion. Oh, with a famouser on Graham Hughes. And Elliot and Bobby still the legal men there. Jack taking down Ginger Nut. He is fighting for his life here. And Elliot picking him up for a vicious backbreaker on Jack Franko. But Dev Kyro out of nowhere with a code breaker. Double knees to under the chin. Elliot Hunter has got to be feeling it after that. The lights are on, but no one's home for this man. But a triple super kick. Elliot has got to be unconscious after that. And we see the Flavour and Dev Kyro pick up an impressive win. An impressive win there over the British veteran of Graham Hughes, the relative newcomer to New Zealand, but again a veteran from Britain, Elliot Hunter and Ginger Nut. The teamwork and the cohesion of these three, and now with Miss Rivers at their back, I think they are putting New Zealand's tag team wrestling scene on notice. And celebrating a well-earned victory is the Flavour. And with Miss Rivers at their back, I think we're in for some big things for these boys. Bobby Wisheart, very well-earned celebration with the fans there. From all three of these men, took an absolute beating from their opponents, but used their speed, their athleticism, their educated feet to get a victory. And there, Dev Kyro hugging it out with the fans. We haven't seen him for almost over a year for Dev Kyro. And I tell you what, Dev, welcome back, mate. Welcome back to Hughes Academy. And what a welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from our break. Making his way to the ring, another relative newcomer to the New Zealand scene, but exceedingly popular, very, very strong, and triple tough is Kōkiri. Originally slated to fight Phoenix Talion tonight, but unfortunately Phoenix Talion has come down with a pretty severe knee injury, so I guess Kōkiri, he wants to fight, he's a competitor, he is here to wrestle, so it'll be interesting to see maybe if he has a replacement opponent lined up, or if he has something to say. Maybe he's going to issue a challenge, or maybe just wait till Phoenix Talion has recovered, we'll see. But our thoughts and prayers go out to Phoenix. Unfortunately, that devastating injury, hopefully back in the ring sooner rather than later.
A sweat towel. It's not as cool as a big bandana. Are we going for a no? Can I get a yay yay? Can I get a yay yay? Look, ladies and gentlemen, I was actually meant to face somebody that I really look up to tonight. I was actually meant to face Phoenix Talion. Does anybody know who he is? Yeah! And look, the bro's injured, so he unfortunately can't make it. And I would rather that he be want to be left without a match. No, I'm not going to be left without a match. Microphone. So I reckon tonight, because I don't want to be left without a match, I reckon I'm at my match fit. I reckon I'm going to have a bit of an open challenge. What do you reckon? Real quick, before I talk about this open challenge, does anybody know what a tamer is? You don't know what a tamer is? Does anybody know what a tamer is? Tamer means little brother in Te Reo Māori. And that's exactly what I am in professional wrestling. You see, this is my 9th month as being a professional wrestler. So I'm still learning, you see. I've still got a whole lot of things to learn. Actually, I haven't won a bloody match in ages. So like, for me to say something about an open challenge, like frankly, I don't really deserve that. But I talked to Hughes Academy and they decided to give me this opportunity, to give me this space, to give me this time to talk to you guys and to offer an open challenge, not so that I can just beat some dude, but so I can learn. This is my tamer year as the little brother. This is the year where I get to learn, where I get to forge my steel, where I get to forge my sword. And so, this open challenge extends to anybody in the locker room. Where's that camera? To anybody in New Zealand. My intention is not to be one of the best in Hughes Academy. My intention is not one of the best, to not be one of the best in Auckland, in Tamaki Makaurau. My intention is Kōkiri, is to be one of the best in New Zealand professional wrestling. So, that being said, this open challenge, this space, this ring is now available.
And an open challenge there is an exceedingly hard match to prepare for. You know, when you hear about what match you're going to have for an evening, you can watch tapes, you can prepare for it, but Kōkiri seeing his opponent for the first time now, tag team specialist, one half of New Blood, it's Zach Hale. I didn't even know he was in the building.
No idea, I've just come from backstage and I couldn't see him there.
There's two sides of it, he was hiding from you.
Well, a lot of people hide from me backstage.
You're a tall man, he was down a bit.
That's true. I'm looking forward to this match.
Now Zach Hale, as I said, a tag team specialist, but has done many singles matches. Many singles matches, exceedingly fast, and straight away trying to take Kōkiri by surprise. But Kōkiri saw that coming a mile off, straight away with a kick out. And these two men jockeying for position straight away. But Zach, a little bit more experience, a little bit faster.
Yeah, and he's got to use that leverage against the much bigger Kōkiri as well.
That's the thing, Kōkiri's got the strength, he's got the size and the power. Zach's going to have to grind him to the mat and use that speed and that experience, and there we go.
That's correct.
Seeing that mat experience, but Kōkiri's power, vicious back elbow. And I don't know if Zach thought he was going to be wrestling for a match tonight, but he's feeling it.
Arm drag by Hale. Using Kōkiri's own momentum against him there.
And you sort of see there the intelligence there of Zach Hale. It wasn't traditional arm drag where you grab the arm and spin it. Zach went down low fast, dropped down, and almost a judo throw on Kōkiri.
Yeah.
Really using Kōkiri's size against him. And this is the tactics that Zach has to use. Get small, use leverage, and use tactics to beat a man like him. Beat a man like Kōkiri. But Kōkiri's not going to go down easily there. Back elbow in the corner. The speed of Zach.
There we go. Oh.
And that elbow stunned him. Elbow to the back of the head. And a vicious lariat.
Yeah, nice combo there by Kōkiri. And will this be it? 1, 2. Just 2 there, says referee Matt Rhodes.
And Zach there getting an early 2 count. Those elbows, that combination stunned him. And Kōkiri there As he said, he wants to learn, he wants to get the experience, and staying on his opponent, showing a bit of viciousness. That's the way to do it. Use the ring. Use your environment. And Zach likely seeing stars after getting his head rammed into those turnbuckles.
Yeah, but you got to do what you got to do. That's my philosophy in there.
Wow, win's a win. At the end of the day, the record books will only show that Kōkiri beat Zach Hale, if that is the outcome tonight.
Exactly. And when you were wrestling in there, of course, Fabulous, you weren't afraid to take advantage of any opportunity you could either. No. And I commend you.
No, you do what you can to get that win. But Kōkiri there using his power and his strength, wrenching on the neck of Zach Hale.
Yeah, a basic but effective move, that wrench. And
it does. Really grinds the back of your neck and makes it a lot harder to breathe. A lot harder to get that much needed recovery there, while Kōkiri getting his breath back, but Zach showing the experience with a roll through. Oh, and a vicious double stomp. Zach there, a little bit of a receipt as he's getting off that kick out.
Absolutely.
Make sure Kōkiri knows that he kicked out and he's still moving, and that kick, it's got to stun a man like, it's got to stun, get a kick in the head like that. Zach using his speed, taking down Kōkiri with a drop toe hold. And what are we seeing here? A little bit of, I don't know, Zach going for a little bit of unusual technical there. Normally we see this out of Zach, the athleticism.
Do indeed.
But I tell you what, you do what you can to beat a man like Kōkiri. Beat a man twice the size of you.
Honestly, the longer this match goes, the more I think it's going to favour Zach Hale with his athleticism.
Well, he's got the athleticism and he's got the experience. The more time this match goes, the easier it is Kōkiri to make a mistake. And a close 2 count there. Close 2 count from Kōkiri. On Kōkiri, I should say. And Zach dragging Kōkiri to his feet. The much bigger man. I don't know what he was trying there, but exposing the back of his head was not the smartest move from Zach Hale there. Oh, impressive drop kick there. From a guy the size of Kōkiri. And a vicious back body drop. Kōkiri there, trying to fire up the crowd, maybe fire up himself as well a little bit.
I think so.
Get his head back in the game.
Seems to be working. Fine, people of Kumeu are clapping for him now.
But the inexperience of Kōkiri here, he is allowing Zach to get his breath back, he's allowing Zach to recover. You just hit a big move on the man, stay on him. And there we see that inexperience. Zach, plenty of time to recover, takes advantage. Utilizing that corner, utilizing that ring himself.
Yeah, I'm going to say stiff clotheslines in the corner.
They look like they will take the wind out of it. And Zach there with the experience, not letting Kōkiri breathe. And again with the athleticism, straight to the middle rope. Oh, and a double knee meteora.
That could be it. 1, 2.
No, but still kicking out at 2.
Still 2.
He's a tough man, Kōkiri, but that meteora drives the wind out of your chest, crushes your ribs. It is a hell of a move to kick out of. Kōkiri there again, trying to will himself back into this match. Zach's got to be thinking, what the hell do I do to beat this man if my entire body weight on his chest is not enough?
Yeah.
But Zach,
this is going to go to the top this time.
That's exactly what he's good at. He's what he's got his experience at.
He's taking a lot of time, and there you go.
He's feeling that beating that Kōkiri's given him so far.
Enjoyed that though. I like
but still the athleticism of Zach. Oh, and a vicious super kick. Kōkiri is out on his feet and a swinging neck breaker. 2, and that's all she wrote for Kōkiri after that neck breaker.
Zach Hale!
Just a single wrestler's version of the finisher from New Blood.
Yeah, of course, yeah, it is. Similar move.
Exactly, similar move.
It's like they're paying tribute to his partner, Kent Nova, who's not here tonight.
No.
But I tell you what, Kōkiri on the losing end there, but he's got to be proud of himself. He put up one hell of a fight, gave Zach a beating he's going to remember.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. He did well.
He said he wants to learn, and I hope he learns something from that match.
I agree.
And we've seen him earlier tonight. Devastating loss quite recently against Frankie Quinn for the Hughes Academy Championship, and another devastating loss against Fusion. He has got to be disappointed in himself. Yeah, he's still got a smile on his face though.
He certainly does.
Those losses, they have got to sting.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you feeling tonight? That's good. Everyone happy? Everyone having a good time? Alright, how are you feeling? Good, that's good. Man, I'm not feeling great. I know. Woe is me. You guys all saw Elliot and me and Tommy Fusion? Yeah. So for those of you who don't know me, I am the former Hughes Academy champion. Tommy Fusion's brilliant. Yeah, he did. I'm pretty disappointed in myself. No, I'm not trying to bring the mood down. Thank you. I mean, for years now, years and years, I've been the hardest working wrestler in this country. Lawrence, is that you again? I've been the hardest worker in the country, but tonight I was outworked by Tommy Fusion, it seems. But I don't know if I'm happy. No, I'm not happy with that. And I'm not going to let it stop there. I'm not going to let my night end there. Disappointed, maybe. I'm not sad. Tommy Fusion, I know you're back there, but this isn't to you. I'm proud of you for your efforts tonight. You beat me. Clean as a whistle. But I know your friend, JT Hollow, is back there with you. JT Hollow is one of the biggest men in New Zealand professional wrestling. He is the New Zealand professional wrestling heavyweight champion. Man, if I want to prove it to you guys, if I want to prove it to myself, that I'm the hardest worker in this country, then I'm going to pull out JT Hollow right now.
Jesus. That is one hell of a call out, a guy like JT Hollow.
This is going to be one hell of a match.
If Spartan wants to challenge himself and get himself back in winning ways, a win over Hollow is one hell of a way to do it, but
yeah.
Spartan, you've had a match tonight already. Hollow is fresh. I don't know if this is the smartest move in the world. I mean, maybe call out someone else. Maybe there's a kid in the front row, call him out.
Maybe call out actual Avalanche. I think that'd be more forgiving than JT Hollow. He's a nice guy, obviously, but
he smiles, he is shaking hands with the crowd, he is being respectful and lovely, but when that bell rings, he is a vicious, hard-hitting son of a bitch. If I'm allowed to say that, Graham, sorry.
Hey. Just as long as people know I didn't say it, Lance. There you go. Beautiful belt.
JT Hollow there, he is the champion, the New Zealand Professional Wrestling Champion.
JT, you gonna move for a spot? looking free for the Impromptu match?
Hollow has never one to shy down from a fight, so if you're calling him out, he's going to answer it.
Well, let's do it then.
Oh, hang on. Are we going to see an impromptu title match right here?
I hope so.
It looks like Hollow, he wants to challenge himself. He's going to put the New Zealand Professional Wrestling Championship on the line tonight.
This is huge news.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are seeing an impromptu title match tonight. A fresh champion, JT Hollow.
Yeah, I guess it's official.
Against what can only be described potentially as a desperate Spartan looking to get a win. Two devastating losses. He does not want a third.
He is the current New Zealand Professional Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the mother-loving boyheart, JT Hollow!
Look at that. The big thumbs up, the big smile. But you just wait. While that big bell rings, those thumbs go down, that smile goes down, the lights go out.
Yep, here we go. Two warriors circling the ring.
I mean, these guys have faced each other before. They're well aware of each other. Hollow was very aware probably of Spartan's mindset, that he is looking for a quick win, he's looking for a desperate win, but he's also aware that Spartan wrestled Fusion to a loss like an hour ago.
That's true. Pressing the advantage.
He's taken his time to get his breath back, but Spartan's still going to be feeling some of those bruises. Hollow is fresh. Spartan needs to get in there quick. He needs to utilize his speed, and he needs to take Hollow down fast.
See if I was Spartan, I'd have made this challenge for the next show.
Yeah, or against someone completely different.
Yeah.
The kid in the front row at the next show, please.
Yeah.
And Hollow managed to get Spartan into the corner earlier. Spartan showing he's just as capable as Hollow is.
It's true.
But both of them breaking the count respectfully.
I feel like Spartan, he could have come out here, could have said, next show, I want that shot. Give it to me, but you know, there's a thin line between bravery and perhaps stupidity, but right now, hey, maybe I'm wrong, he's got the advantage.
Well, that's a fair point.
Modified abdominal stretch.
Yeah, almost like an octopus stretch there, but the power of Hollow just wrenching Spartan off his feet. Oh, and a vicious shoulder block.
And a
Again,
second.
a vicious shoulder block. Hollow is in firm control. But a drop kick right on the money there from Spartan. And to your point there, Spartan clearly wants to challenge himself. He wants to prove something to himself, to Hughes Academy management, and to the fans. Maybe, yeah, beating JT Hollow tonight is the way to do it.
I mean, that would be an incredible feat, but oh, that body drop right there.
And losses by JT Hollow come few and far between. So Spartan better have his working boots on for this match. And look at him, Spartan there, a little bit slow to recover. Maybe still feeling the effects of that match earlier tonight from Fusion. But you can call Spartan a lot of things, but a fighter is always one of them.
Oh. Trading shoulder tackles here. I don't know if this is a good strategy for Spartan. Oh, that is, though. High knee to the face.
The experience there from Spartan. He saw the shoulder block wasn't doing it.
Oh.
Try something different. A knee to the face will take you down no matter how big you are. And Hollow there, clutching at his jaw. He is feeling that knee. Oh, and after that kick, he is feeling that back as well. Spartan's in firm control now, and he needs to stay in control if he is planning on winning this match. But Hollow sending a little message there. Do your worst, Spartan. He is welcoming those kicks right to his back.
Why would you welcome kicks?
Why would you welcome it? If he's welcome it, why would you do it? And again, Spartan sees it doesn't work, changes up his tactics, and a drop kick to the chin. A very close 2 count for from the Spartan. Even the fans there thinking maybe that was a 3 count. It was 2.
It was 2. Well, the referee needs to get in there.
Spartan, those right hands are vicious.
Closed fists and on the rope.
He's taking things a little bit easy between these 2 competitors, is the referee. And we're a title match. Maybe he needs to be a little bit loosey-goosey with the rules.
Yeah, I guess, referee's discretion.
And the power there of JT. Clutching Spartan out of the midair and slamming him to the mat. And again, not letting Spartan get his breath back. Ripping him off. But Spartan again with that reverse DDT.
That could be a 1, 2, no.
And if Spartan was a little bit faster to that cover, that may have been it.
These fans are disagreeing with the referee.
I'm not sure if JT there is trying to tell himself it was a 2 or trying to plead with the referee. Oh, and driving his knee right to the heart of JT Hollow. Spartan using his experience and staying on top of Hollow, right to the jaw that time.
Still not enough to get it done.
But that seems to be Spartan's tactic so far. He has needs Hollow in the jaw. He has drop-kicked Hollow in the jaw. He has punched Hollow in the jaw and now dropped his entire body weight onto JT Hollow's jaw.
Yeah, that jaw's got to be made of granite or something.
No matter what, even granite though, if you drop enough things on it, it's going to crack. And Spartan is clearly seeing a bullseye right now, but a disrespectful slap. Spartan, this was not the smartest move to be doing.
I wouldn't want to fire up the Wisheart.
No, you're in control, Spartan. Stay in control. Oh, but that right hand. And JT, you do not want to trade strikes with JT Hollow. The man can throw a punch. I have been hit by him before.
The man can throw a punch, the man can throw another man.
Well, yeah. I have taken punches from JT Hollow before. You don't remember what comes straight afterwards.
A bit of you than me, Lance.
Hollow in control, and again, Spartan straight to that jaw with that knee.
And you'll see that Hollow's legs just gave way underneath him from that. He may have hit him on what they call a button. I've heard it in boxing.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure JT's conscious right now. He's wiggling around, but this might be all on instinct. His body might be just doing it itself.
He could be on autopilot, you're right.
Spartan might be calling for the spear, but I think the smarter thing would just get on him and lay on that jaw.
Yeah.
Get the pin straight in for the spear, but Hollow saw that coming. A vicious kick and a vicious punch. Again, JT reminding Spartan, you want to throw hands? I will throw hands with you. And a spinning neck breaker.
That's got to be a 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that was close. That has got to be the closest.
That was really close.
I tell you what, the crowd thinks maybe that was a 3, and I might do as well. And JT is a big man, and what you just saw there, some dangerous speed from such a big man. But JT looks like he's calling his shot right now.
Could it be the Joker driver?
He's got Spartan staggering. But Spartan laying in those elbows. He knows what comes here. He has felt that Joker driver before. Oh, but a spear! We've got a new champion!
That's it.
There is no way Hollow kicks out.
3. Oh! How is that just 2?
How the hell did Hollow just kick out of the spear? Spartan Spear has put opponent after opponent after opponent away. Spartan going for it again, maybe. Hollow seeing it coming. Oh, spear of his own!
Oh.
From such a big man, that spear has got to hurt.
I don't know how much of it he got. So quick.
Some of the viciousness of JT there with the Saito suplex.
2, 3. There you go.
And Hollow fought like hell, and he earned that victory. Spun a third devastating loss. He has got to be heartbroken after that.
Well, at least he still has his fans, Lance.
Oh, yeah. But the fans don't pay the bills. JT there holding that title aloft. He has earned his victory, staggering to the back. He has got to be feeling every inch of that jaw. Spartan there, clutching the back of his head. That Saito suplex that JT does so effectively drops your entire body weight right on the back of your neck. I don't know, is Spartan gonna...
Oh.
Are we gonna have some round 2 right here? No. JT gonna hug it out, show some respect. But Spartan's gotta be frustrated.
I don't know, man. I'm watching this. He goes in now. Spartan seemed a bit more reluctant.
He is.
I guess not now.
I think that hug from JT was a warning. You don't want round 2, buddy. But Spartan, he will take round 2 whenever you are ready.
Clutching that head. He's going to have to get that checked out. He's got a history of concussions. You don't want to see him on the shelf.
Well, getting dropped on the back of your head like that'll do it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
This match here, there is a lot of personal history in this match.
Absolutely.
An I Quit match might be the only thing that's going to settle the feud between these two men. Dorian Weber, a man, actually suffered his very first loss against Vic Craig back in August last year, has refused to accept that he has lost. He has gotten lawyers involved, he has gotten petitions involved. He will not accept that he's lost, but if he can make Vic Craig say, I quit, I mean, he maybe has a point. Maybe he didn't. I mean, Dorian Weber, he wanted this match. He wanted an I Quit match. But against Vic Craig.
Yeah, well, I've never said Dorian Weber was the sharpest tool in the box.
If you can make a man like this say I quit, then you have earned your win. Vic Craig here, I don't think I have ever seen him tap out. I have certainly never seen him say that he quits anything in his life.
Vic Craig showing those children the same love I showed them earlier.
Around his waist, around his shoulder there. A belt wrapped in barbed wire says it all. The New Zealand Deathmatch Championship. Rugged Vic Craig says his matches are violence for the sake of violence. And I bet Vic Craig has got to be cherishing a match like this. The disrespect that Dorian has been showing him over the last couple of months, refusing to acknowledge his win. If he can make a man like Dorian, who has been taunting him since August, say the words, I quit, that's got to be the sweetest victory.
Absolutely. But you got to wonder if Dorian Weber's able to pull it out somehow.
Well, if Dorian asks for I quit,
and I don't know if that's the wisest idea there, Dorian.
I have felt the sting of that blade. It's not pleasant.
Well, he's putting it under the ring.
I mean, if Dorian's challenged rugged Vic Craig, of all people.
Before we start punching each other, I want to know that when he's on half unconscious on the ground, bleeding, that even his 2 brain cells know the 2 words he needs to say. So ask him that.
Oh.
That's a fair question.
Do you know the words?
I suspect he may not know.
I don't think the words "I quit" are in Rugged Vic Craig's vocabulary.
I think there are a lot of words that aren't in Rugged Vic Craig's vocabulary anymore. He likes to drink a lot of beer, and that has an effect.
I've seen the man get hit in the head a lot of times. I've hit him in the head myself.
Yeah, you and Rugged Vic Craig have a long history of hitting each other in the head.
Yeah, I may have beaten those words out of his head. I don't know what Dorian's trying to prove here. He is just taunting Rugged Vic Craig. But I tell you what, if he's asked Rugged Vic Craig for a match like this, he's got to have a tactic. I wouldn't shortchange Dorian Weber in this match. He's smarter than you get credit for.
Man. Dorian Weber.
Does Dorian Weber think he's won the match?
He does.
Well, I mean, I guess he tricked Rugged Vic Craig into saying I quit, but the match hasn't started yet. We haven't rung the bell.
No, we haven't. I'm looking at the bell, it remains unrung.
I mean, it was a good plan, but the execution might have been faulty. But Vic Craig does not see it that way, or maybe he does and this match is over. But I think that scream from backstage told us that he doesn't see it this way.
Well, something's going on out there. Oh, they're back.
Vic Craig has suffered months of insults and disrespect from Dorian Weber. I think we're about to see all of that come to fruition.
Oh, flying
right
shoulder
now.
tackle. And a kip up from the ultra-athletic Vic Craig.
I tell you what, don't let his look and his attitude and his way of wrestling surprise you. Vic Craig is surprisingly athletic. If he wants to move, he will move. And I think a lot of people underestimate this man's wrestling ability just because he chooses to use weapons and bleed. But he is a smart wrestler.
And he's once again pointing out that the spelling is wrong on that sign, I believe.
And I mean, fair enough. How's the kid going to learn if it's not pointed out? Oh, Vic Craig calling his shot here. Is he planning on throwing Dorian Weber into the chairs?
Well,
And Vic Craig.
Classic Craig.
But not only taunting the fans, Dorian's got to be bracing to be thrown into the chairs at that point and back in the ring. That's got to be disorientating. But not disorientating enough then. Dorian Weber
That was smart.
crotching Vic Craig with the ropes.
Deathmatch wrestler or not, that's going to slow you down.
I mean, Dorian's seen Vic Craig wrestle before.
Oh!
He's wrestled him before. He knows his tactics. He knows his antics. Maybe Dorian is a little more prepared than we're giving him credit for. He seems to have Rugged Vic Craig's off a step right now.
Dorian Weber's one of the most improved wrestlers that we've seen in quite some time in New Zealand wrestling.
Well, he is. I remember him debuting a number of years ago. He seemed tentative, and now look at him. Looks gorgeous. Throws one hell of a super kick, one hell of a chop. The man can go when he wants to go. I think at the moment, though, he's a little distracted by his antics and his lawyers and his nonsense trying to deny a loss.
Well, maybe he needs a manager.
Oh, maybe he needs a new hand after that. And Vic Craig telling you, if you want to chop me, I will chop you.
Oh, going for the suplex, but
Right, maybe trying to suplex each other here. Going back and forth, countering each other's suplexes. Both of these men very, very evenly matched.
both fighting off the suplex.
I mean, both of these men are extremely experienced. They know a counter to a move as basic as a suplex. But rugged Vic Craig, almost with a brainbuster.
Yeah, it was high on those shoulders of Dorian Webber.
On the shoulders and the rest of the back of his head. Oh, but Dorian is still in it. Rugged, you're going to have to do more to put a man like Dorian down. Don't underestimate him. Dorian Webber was undefeated for over 2 years, so don't let his antics and his flamboyant attitude, the silliness, take away from anything. The man knows how to wrestle and he knows how to get a win.
Well, he's still undefeated if you ask him.
Well, if you ask him, he's been undefeated for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the rules here. If he wants to choke the hell out of Vic Craig on the ropes, he can choke the hell out of Vic Craig.
Yep. It's a variation of a dragon sleeper, or...
Oh, and a chop right to his stomach, driving Vic Craig's back of Vic Craig's head right into the mat.
Yeah, kind of a combination chop, reverse DDT, and now Webber's looking under the ring for something.
He's clearly got something in mind.
Some kind of plunder.
As I said, the man... Jumper cable. What is that? Is that jumper cables?
It is jumper cables.
What the hell are you going to do with jumper cables?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe...
Vic Craig looks like the kind of guy whose car might need them after the show, but
well, if you've
I don't think that's what he's intending on.
I mean, maybe he knows someone's left their lights on in the car park or something.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Dorian showing that this is a... We get the point, Dorian. That is a live battery. What are you doing?
See, that's why I had a fire extinguisher handy earlier.
You thought that well. You planned that well. You must have seen the battery. Fire safety AJ.
That's what they call me out there on the street.
But a vicious uppercut from
European uppercut. But all seriousness, jumper cables is taking this to a different level.
And I mean, maybe this is why Hughes Academy is not sanctioning this match. Seeing the violence that we're going to see with jumper cables, a live jumper cable. Oh, but Vic Craig, that barbed wire covered title belt. What has he got planned for this? And I've held that belt before, not as champion. It is sharp, it is dangerous. It's cut me before.
Oh, and he's just grinded that barbed wire into the face of Webber.
Barbs of the barbed wire across Dorian Webber's face. I tell you what, Dorian, you should probably start thinking about it.
This is Lance, you know what it's like to be cut open by Vic Craig. It is not a fun experience.
If Vic Craig wants you to bleed, you will bleed. And Dorian Webber maybe smartly putting some distance between Vic Craig and that barbed wire.
Yeah.
Using his wrestling ability, modified octopus stretch maybe. That modification of that stretch putting a lot of pressure on the traps and then the side of the neck of Vic Craig, but also on the abdominal side as well. Your entire left side of his body has got to be in agony right now.
I'm going to quit.
I'll tell you what, if I was in that hold, I'd be thinking about it.
Well, it looks to be that Craig is fighting out. There's Webber in the corner. And
a double drop kick right into the corner. Vic Craig moving a bit slower, but he's trying to stay on top of Dorian Webber right now. Lining up Dorian Webber for something. Oh, but Dorian saw it coming a mile off. Vicious forearms. And a back elbow from Dorian, but Vic Craig's still standing. I don't know what Dorian's got planned. Oh, right!
Just throws him literally off the apron.
Right onto that concrete floor. I mean, that takes the wind out of you. Whatever landed on that floor first, that's got to hurt like hell. It bends bones, it bends limbs. And right into that ring post.
Ring post.
Which is
the hardest part of the ring. Thank you. My goodness, great minds think alike. Oh, and again. Down. And as you're saying, there is a very thin layer of wood on this floor, but underneath that, it's concrete. You're right.
It's essentially a concrete floor. This isn't like the wrestling ring, which is hard enough as it is.
And they're
but
coming
Dorian,
a
maybe
little bit too close to us.
Hopefully not coming over this way. But Dorian Vic Craig clearly have something in mind, going into a storage cupboard. I don't know what is Dorian's got planned.
Doing?
All the electrical cables are over here, Dorian. Unplug us, please. Oh. No, we're still good. And I can't see exactly what's happening here, but judging what I can see, it looks like someone's trying to ram the door into someone's head. I can only imagine from the thudding and the slamming that we can hear from that storage
I think
closet.
our cameras are kidding it.
Yeah.
God, I'm going to do a quick roving report.
Oh, but they've come out behind the side of the storage closet. Dorian Webber flying across the floor, thrown by Vic Craig. It looks like whatever happened in that storage closet, Vic Craig got the upper hand of it.
Absolutely. It certainly wouldn't have been 7 minutes in heaven, I don't think.
You beat me to that one.
He's standing on Dorian Webber's throat, choking him out.
Not only is it a vicious move.
Double underhook here.
Oh no, Vic Craig's got a lot of things he can do from this one. Yeah. Dorian Webber has scouted it. He is fighting his way off. Oh, and a back body drop to the concrete floor. Oh my God, that's got to knock the wind out of Vic Craig.
Did you hear that thud?
I could feel that thud through the floor from here.
Flesh and spine.
I tell you what, if it's on the news tonight that there was something on the Richter scale, we know what it was.
Yeah. I think that was the Victor scale. So, I'll be here all night. Oh, these forearms
Rugged Vic fighting back from Dorian Webber, driving him right into that wooden load-bearing pole.
Yes.
Dorian there, clutching his shoulder, clutching his wrist. That shoulder that just impacted straight into the side of that wooden. And Vic Craig, violence for the sake of violence, is just going to choke Dorian with a piece of rope.
Yep, taking him on a tour of the ringside area.
If he's still conscious after getting choked out like this, and a vicious chop there.
Yeah, just chops after chops here, and Craig looks like getting closer to the ring, but who knows what he's got in mind.
And the beauty of an I Quit match like this, you don't have to say I quit in the ring. It could be anywhere in this building. Or outside of it.
Well, Dorian Webber says no. His referee Dan Wood asks him if he wants to say those two words.
Vic Craig trying to muscle Dorian back into the ring. Dorian's maybe trying to fight Vic Craig off a little bit.
Oh, I'll be trying to fight Vic Craig off a little bit too.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh, here we go.
We've seen this move before, the harvest.
No, but...
Dorian has also seen it before. Slingshotting Vic Craig's throat across the top rope. And what is Dorian
got? Handcuffs.
What has Dorian got planned here with handcuffs?
I don't want to know. Dorian Webber with handcuffs on a Saturday night does not sound like my idea of a good time. There's Vic Craig.
Vic Craig
fighting it off.
He might have seen those handcuffs as well, because that boot to the face had some malice behind it.
That boot may have broken some teeth.
I don't know what Vic Craig's doing at the moment, stashing something back in his trousers. I don't know if that was the handcuffs.
I'm not sure.
But Vic Craig calling the referee. Ask for it.
That's right, Vic Craig claiming someone said yes, but it has to specifically be the words, I quit.
Unfortunately, the fans can't quit for Dorian.
No.
Oh, but Vic Craig
not again.
Setting the double underhook. Dorian trying to fight it off there, get his left arm underneath him.
Seems to be having some success. And
Vic Craig normally hits a vicious... Oh, and a sidewalk straight into the second hardest part of the ring, the corner.
right on the corner of the apron there, you're right.
But the corner of that apron, right into the spine of Vic Craig.
Now he's got the choking him on the rope, or trying to.
He's trying to choke, use his beard maybe to get some leverage. Choking Vic Craig out. And I don't know if you've been choked out like that, AJ, but the vision starts to go black very quickly.
Oh, it does.
But these men exchanging strikes with each other.
And on that apron.
And I tell you what, I've wrestled both of these men and I don't want to take strikes from either of them. But Vic Craig is on another level when he wants to get into these no-rule matches. And maybe we're seeing another level here from Dorian Webber.
Just knocking him off.
Almost a tie push kick. Vic Craig straight into the corner of that ring post.
And the fans seem to be rearranging the furniture preemptively out of fear of being pummeled by a wrestler.
I mean, if the fans don't do it, Vic Craig or Dorian Webber will.
And Webber putting
Vic Craig noticeably slower at the moment.
Yeah, this is kind of a shock.
This is a shock. Seeing the back of his head slam right into that ring apron might have stunned Vic Craig. And now Dorian again. Nice and simple tactics. Choking the man out. Choking him against that. But Vic Craig's got the handcuffs.
Oh, no.
I think he's just got the best of Dorian. What the? Vic Craig hid those handcuffs in his pants. He's just handcuffed Dorian Webber to the top rope.
There we go.
I would not want to be in Dorian Webber's shoes right now. Rugged. If you are defenseless against a man like Rugged Vic Craig, Dorian, you might want to quit. You might want to quit, Dorian. Nothing good can come of this if you can't defend yourself.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Vic Craig has the...
Vic Craig. Vic Craig has got evil intentions.
No.
What are you doing, you sick man?
Not down the trunk.
Oh no, you sick son of... What are you doing? And Dorian Webber's just quit. Dorian Webber quit. Vic Craig has threatened him into saying the words, "I quit." Dorian Webber denied losing matches before, but there's no way he can deny this one.
No, that's absolutely right. He's still being tortured by Craig.
I mean, as Vic Craig has said many times before, violence for the sake of violence.
Absolutely.
And Vic Craig, a serious and very dangerous man, getting his trademark saw blade.
Let's don't know if
Oh no, come on, you won the match, leave him alone. You've made your point.
No, make more points.
You've made your point. I have felt this before, this is dangerous. Vic Craig, no, he's defenseless.
That was great.
When Vic Craig did that to me, I needed stitches. I couldn't see through the blood. And a defenseless Dorian Webber.
I've got to ask, how are we going to get Dorian Webber off of the ropes?
That's a fair point. I hope he brought his keys.
Referee Dan reaching into the trunks for the keys.
Dan is a tougher man than I am doing that.
Yeah, much braver.
And Dorian, body has got to be aching, the bruises, but nothing's going to hurt worse than saying the words, "I quit," where you claim you're undefeated. As we saw sort of last month, Frankie Quinn captured this title after relinquishing the Hughes Academy Women's Championship, when the Spartan also relinquished the Hughes Academy Men's Championship to form the brand new Hughes Academy Championship, and this is the first ever defense of that title. And what a challenger we have up first.
Excuse my absence, I did indeed go for another pizza break.
Are you going to need it?
Absolutely. Just watching Rufguts makes me hungry. I don't know what that means.
Rufguts, a veteran of New Zealand wrestling, has been around the scene for a very, very long time.
Seen it all and done it all.
He has won titles up and down this country. He is a vicious, dangerous competitor. Frankie Quinn has her work cut out for her first defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge Frankie fan, but even I feel bad for her.
I mean, if anyone can do it, it's Frankie. She is fast, she is capable, she is just as experienced as Rufguts is. She is a competitor that I think a lot of people take lightly just due to her size and her attitude and the fact that she's so smiley and happy with the fans, but she is a very, very experienced, fearsome competitor.
Yeah, you don't want to get on her wrong side.
No,
Trust me,
I've been on it, it's not good. I think we've both been on Frankie's wrong side.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it. 2 out of 10.
This is your main event, and it's a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Hughes Academy Championship. Introducing first, the challenger, to my left. He is 6'1" and 115 kilograms from the Hutt Valley. The man known as Rufguts.
This man is driven all the way up from Wellington to be the first challenger and potentially the second champion for Hughes Academy.
Shows you what the title means.
And she's the third defeated Hughes Academy champion, Frankie.
And look at the body language here. Frankie straight away showing off the title, celebrating with the fans, but Rufguts has taken the center of the ring and he has stayed in the center of the ring. He is trying to send a message to Frankie. But back to his corner for the start of the match.
You see.
And look at Rufguts. He looks like a coiled spring right now. The man looks ready to kill. And you know what? He's more than capable of doing it. And straight in there with a vicious clothesline. Rufguts does not work by the hour.
Oh, and that's the first fall.
That's the first fall. I think Rufguts just took Frankie Quinn massively by surprise. And remember, the rules for the Hughes Academy Championship now are 2 out of 3 falls. Rufguts just needs to pin Frankie one more time, and he has the belt.
Yeah, that was a very unexpected start. Simple but effective.
And the rules here, you have to get to your feet in your corner in order for the break to start. Frankie has not gotten to her feet yet. She is feeling that lariat.
She nearly had her head ripped off by that lariat.
She has got to be feeling that. And look at Rufguts. He is winding at that arm. He's just ready to do it again. But fool me once, Frankie says. Shame on me. I'll be surprised if she shits it a second time. And look at that.
Oh, and attempting for a crucifix by the look
into
of
a
it.
crucifix and rolling down into a pin. But Rufguts,
The sunset. No,
he is a
strength.
big, strong man. Again, going for that lariat.
Yeah. Roll up. Could be it. One. No, just one.
Frankie,
Too much power.
Having none of it. She knows.
Mahi strong cradle. What? No. Barely a one.
Frankie knows she has to put Rufguts away very quickly now. Rufguts has a massive advantage on Frankie Quinn right now. Again with the crucifix, going for a crucifix spin, but Rufguts biting the top rope.
Oh,
and it's
it
not
works
enough.
for the one, for the two, and no, not enough to get it done.
And again
another
with
one.
that lariat.
That's it. That's over. 2 straight falls.
There is no way that Frankie quicks out of that. She didn't kick out of it the first time. How the hell does she kick out of it the second? Rufguts, what are you doing? You've got the win. Stop taunting.
Oh, come on. This is not wise.
Rufguts, as I said, he is a vicious competitor.
Yeah, win if you can.
He is sending a message.
On an abdominal stretch.
And look at Rufguts calling his shot. He wants to make Frankie submit for the second fall. Oh, the viciousness here of Rufguts. The veteran instinct. Just ripping at anything that's exposed. Ripping at what the hell is this?
He's just lifting up that.
Just twisting.
To strain the leg as well as the right hand ribcage side.
But Rufguts has got to be careful in these matches.
Oh, and a shot by Quinn.
Pulling the hair like that with for Rufguts. If you get official warnings 3 times in this match, you are disqualified. And Conan being there rather lenient there, not giving Rufguts a warning for that blatant hair pulling.
No.
But Rufguts again with the power, a massive bear hug, squeezing the air out of Frankie Quinn.
We're showing the importance of these title matches that Hughes Academy employs the services.
But that tango clap.
Several tango claps. Employing the services of...
And normally Frankie Quinn might be going for a tilt-a-whirl DDT there. Rufguts saw that coming a mile away. Using his power. Bringing down Frankie Quinn.
You see.
And Frankie barely moving after the beating that she has taken so far. 2 lariats and slam after slam from Rufguts.
Yeah, and referee Conan Wood just watching on.
And look at Rufguts. He is smiling while he goes to work.
And I'll give credit where credit's due. Having Conan Wood specifically referee these title matches, very good call from Hughes Academy.
Well, Conan,
top referee in the country.
He is one of the most experienced referees in the country. You're not going to get anything past Conan. I know I've tried. But Frankie, stunning Rufguts. Maybe this is her opportunity.
No,
maybe not.
Wait a minute.
Frankie seeing what's coming and trying to fight off.
But it looks like it attempted at a...
Oh my God, a vicious powerbomb.
Oh, that's got to be
the back of it. And again, Rufguts insisting on making Frankie Quinn tap out. He has had this match won 3 or 4 times now already.
Yeah.
This might not be the smartest thing for Rufguts.
I mean, if he went for the pin, I think he would have had it.
He would have. Frankie Quinn's an experienced, very fast competitor. If you give her opening, she will take it. And the longer this match goes on,
twisting,
while Rufguts doesn't try and win, the more openings come up.
It's a case of the smaller wrestler using their momentum against the larger wrestler.
Frankie Quinn is used to being the smaller wrestler. She knows full well how to use leverage and momentum to get what she needs to get. Oh, but leverage and momentum mean nothing when you're getting uppercutted in the face. And Frankie Quinn maybe going for a submission of her own with a sleeper hold. Using her entire body weight all over Guts. Guts not only has to try and breathe when he can't, but he has to fight off her body weight.
True, but tenaciously. And Guts losing his balance. This is actually a huge advantage for Quinn.
This is massive for Quinn. This was a very rare mistake there from Guts.
And a rollover.
But his Guts trying to roll over into a pin there.
And attempt at a body scissors by Quinn. She's got it locked on.
And
he taps. He taps.
We are 1 fall apiece from Guts and Frankie. And Frankie sending a message there. Frankie's sending a message. Guts, you want to make me tap?
The tally is now 1 fall apiece.
And Frankie's sending a message. You want to try and make me tap, Guts? You're the one tapping. That's got to weigh heavily on Guts' mind right now. He has got to be kicking himself for that mistake.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a veteran like Guts, turning his back on a competitor like Frankie
wasn't smart.
It was not a smart. It was a dangerous. That was a big mistake. And with 23 minutes left on the clock, we are in sudden death with these two. 1 more fall to win the match.
And if they go to that time limit, obviously a draw would now mean Quinn would retain.
And look what we've seen from the first 2 falls. Guts was out of the corner quickly with that lariat. This time, Frankie straight on Guts. Chops, strikes, and a wheelbarrow bulldog. Stunning Guts.
Mouth open, absolutely stunned. 1 and a kick
and is that enough? A kick out from Guts.
Just 1, says referee Wood.
And he might be able to kick out, but Guts is slow to his feet right now. He is feeling the effect of that choke. Trying to get his breath back, but also the feeling effect of it in his bell rung.
What a flying head scissors.
Beautiful Hurricanrana there by Frankie Quinn. And Frankie Quinn, she is familiar with the opponent in the corner. We have seen this before from Frankie.
No, she doesn't want to waste too much time.
Frankie Quinn, double knees right in the corner. Those running knees, they will force the breath out of your lungs. And it looks like Frankie calling for a second round.
Here we go.
While Gus is gasping for air in the corner. Frankie there lining up the knees a second time. Now looking to capitalize. But Guts is too strong. Too big and too strong.
And I think it was going to be an attempt at a power move by Quinn, which would have been ill-advised.
It would have been Guts.
Oh.
But
sliced bread.
But no, Guts has seen this one coming. He's scouted it. Straight to the top rope for Frankie Quinn. And I don't know what Guts has got planned here, but it is not often we see Guts climbing the ropes.
Is he attempting a superplex?
But Frankie Quinn, she can see what's coming and is fighting Guts off. Those
just a slap to the face.
Vicious slaps. And a code red!
Oh.
Code red on the Guts!
No, and they won again.
A kick out at one.
As you see, when Quinn went over, she wasn't able to hook the legs. It was the momentum that took Guts over. I think that would have made the difference.
She didn't get all of that move. Enough to get a 1 count, but not all of that she wanted. And I mean, that's some of the exhaustion that we're seeing from Frankie right now. She is feeling the effects of that beating she has taken so far. It is not often we see mistakes from Frankie.
Oh!
But using her entire body weight to take Guts down again on that concrete floor. Frankie Quinn, I don't know what she's doing here. Taking a rest? Taking a break?
Adjusting her knee pads by the looks of it.
I mean, she's got to get her breath back. These two have been going for a solid 10 minutes now. We've got 20 minutes left on the clock. Frankie Quinn trying to get her breath back against Gust.
Oh.
But vicious strikes. That shot. Guts is going to be feeling that in the morning. And the fans holding Guts back. The referee being very generous here, allowing that without a warning. We have to remember the count is up to 11. In these matches, we are looking at a 20 count outside of the ring. A style that maybe you'd have seen in Japan and Japanese wrestling. Oh, it's chopping the ring post from Frankie Quinn. Maybe a little overly enthusiastic with those strikes. The count up to 16. Frankie maybe getting a little bit overly enthusiastic outside the ring. Cutting that a little bit close to the wire.
Oh, and she's got to watch out. Guts is behind her, loading up. Oh, missing with the lariat.
Again, going for that tilt-a-whirl DDT.
Oh,
but Frankie gets all of it. Guts looked like he was trying to muscle her over on that one, but no.
He did indeed, and I think that's it.
Frankie too fast.
Oh, again one.
We have not seen Guts go down for more than a 1 count yet. And Frankie, that has got to be weighing on Frankie. Normally after a big move like that, you at least get a 2 count, if not win the match.
Yeah, and I agree it'll be shaking her confidence, but she knows she can make him tap out.
Oh, that's the thing. She can always hang on that. But Guts...
Oh, rough driver, that's it. That's it, new champion.
Guts is...
1, 2...
There is no...
Oh! No! She got out!
A very weak kick out there by Frankie.
Oh my
that
gosh,
Guts
but a
driver.
Kick out nonetheless. May have been wiser to stay down, fight another day.
It would have been. That modified Michinoku driver there from Guts, the Guts driver, that has put down people all over this country. It is very rare someone kicks out of that move. And I think the fans chanting Frankie is kind of getting to Guts at the moment.
It is. Oh, elbow to the back of the neck, it looked like.
It did. There is no way that didn't
going
hurt.
for another one. No, Quinn over and out.
Frankie saw that one coming a mile away. Straight for
bread.
sliced bread number 2.
Will that do it? 1. No,
again.
still 1.
Again, kick out at 1. I've taken that sliced bread. That puts you out.
I can't remember anyone kicking out of it, let alone at 1.
That move drives the back of your head into the ring with the entire weight of Frankie Quinn coming down on top of you.
Yeah.
I don't know how Guts even kicked out at 2, let alone kicking out at 1.
Frankie's going to try and keep ahead in this game.
Frankie going for something big off the second rope. Guts staggering to his feet. He is feeling every inch of this beating.
Oh, tip of the crossbody.
But Frankie catching this out of midair.
Falling on the shoulders.
Hoisting Frankie to the shoulders.
Quinn, no, what is
going?
Oh,
a poison
rana!
Maybe didn't get all of it, but got enough of it.
1. And again 1.
Again at 1. How tough is Rufguts? How tough is this man? And how tough is the back of his head? Again with sliced bread. Again with sliced bread. Frankie knows. Kick out at 1. Maybe hit it a second time then. And here we go. A third sliced bread. That's got to be it.
1,
2,
3.
And Frankie Quinn retains. And what a hard-fought match that was. Frankie had to use every tool in the toolbox to put Rufguts down. God, I'm flustered after seeing all of that.
Well, it was an incredible effort. I mean, on paper, Frankie Quinn should not have been the victor, but Frankie Quinn is not your average wrestler. Goes out, shares hugs with these fans.
But she has got to be feeling every inch of her body right now.
Yep.
The beating the Rufguts laid on her was vicious.
These young girls were behind her the whole way.
Good on Frankie. She powered through that Rufguts driver. She powered through slams and beatings and lariats and is still your Hughes Academy champion. And over now, only now Guts barely even making it to his feet after that. But look at how gingerly Frankie is moving.
Still the champion.
Still, it doesn't matter how much you're been beaten. If you've got the belt, you're the champion.
Guts not happy.
And Guts, he is looking despondent. He is looking angry. A drive all the way up for Wellington. Put his heart and effort and every inch of his power into that match, but came up short.